Hey y'all, it's Anniekin's Art here, and today I want to show you how I draw heads in side and 3/4 view. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check me out on Patreon, Instagram, and TikTok under Anniekin's Art. When I draw heads, I like to start with a circle or something relatively circle-shaped. This goes for no matter what angle I'm drawing the heads in, whether it's 3/4 view or side view. Now, for 3/4 view specifically, we're kind of halfway in between front and side view. So our nose line, or the guideline that we use to show which direction our nose is pointing, is going to be slightly off center. And it doesn't matter how long this line is. All it's doing is telling you which direction the nose is going. Now, split the circle in half, and then into fourths or quarters. Your ear is going to go right along this back corner here. From here, lining up with the ear, we're going to make two kind of quotation marks. It's the best way to describe them. This inside quotation mark is going to be where our nose will align, and this outside quotation mark will be where the outside of our face is. So now that we have those two guidelines in, we can go ahead and start sketching. Specifically for the nose in 3/4 view, I like to draw it in side view first, about the same length as the ear, which will usually align with the bottom of the circle. Now the trick with noses in 3/4 view is that you want to make sure both of your nostrils are visible. So now we've got both of our nostrils sketched in. If you want, you can go ahead and add a baseball diamond shape for some minimal shading, just to get you visualizing what your art is doing. Now you can go ahead and start drawing the outside of the face. It'll be parallel to our inside line here to start with, and then it will pop out again for the cheekbone. And then from there, you could either use a nice soft shape for a more feminine looking character, or a nice sharp jawline for a more masculine looking character. From here you can start connecting things, so I'm going to go from the outside of the ear all the way around my little oval shape. And remember, in 3/4 view, you're not seeing everything inside the ear, but you are seeing a little bit more than you would in front view. So you don't have to be super detailed, just enough to get your viewers to know that this is the inside of the ear. All that's left to do after that is to connect your jawline to your chin. Now we can start on the inside of the face. The nice thing is that these two lines here that we drew earlier are going to be connected by our eyebrow. So if you want, you could start with the outside eyebrow first. And I like to make it a little bit more arched on the outside than it would be on the inside, because if you think about it, this is where our face is curving. From there, you can sketch in your other eyebrow. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure that your eyebrow isn't too far over to the side, or else you won't have room for your hairline. For the eye in 3/4 view, I like to start with the one that's a little bit easier to see. And the inner corner is going to line up with the outside of our nostrils, the same way it would in front view. So I've drawn like a little imaginary line here. All that's left to do is pick an eye shape, any eye shape, and start sketching things in. And remember, your character's eyes can look like whatever you want, so this is where style really comes into play. The important thing to remember now is that your eyes will be the same height on both sides, even though our outside eye here is going to be a little bit distorted. So if you want, you can go ahead and draw an additional line from the bottom of the eye all the way across to the other side. Again, our eye on the outside is going to be a little bit distorted. So if you want, you can make that outer corner parallel to this outside line here. If you want, you can go ahead and add your lashes or any details that you want to add, or you can wait until later. Sometimes it helps to sketch in those details to help you visualize what your character's doing. For the eyelid on the outside eye, I like to slant mine just a little bit instead of going parallel like I would on the other eye. So it'll be a little bit higher on the outside than on the inside. For simplicity's sake, you could make your mouth just a line, but the important thing to remember is that our face is going to be slightly twisted. So this outside corner is going to be just a little bit taller, a little bit more shallow than the inside corner. The neck will usually align with your nose line to tell you which way your nose is facing. And the back of the neck will usually be right behind the ear. This honestly depends on the pose that your character is in, but this is usually a safe choice. Be sure to make whatever adjustments you want to as you go. That way, when you do your line art, you can have a lot cleaner looking sketch. The forehead will follow right along the lines of the circle. And from here, you can add whatever hairstyle you want. I'm just going to sketch something in real quick. If you're working digitally, make sure you're doing your guidelines and your final sketch on a different layer. That way everything won't disappear when you try to get rid of your guidelines. If you're working traditionally, or you've accidentally included everything on the same layer, you can go back in and erase everything by hand. Once you've erased all your guidelines, you should be left with a clean sketch behind. Now, let's focus on side view. Just like front and 3/4 view, we're going to start with a circle or something relatively circle-shaped. Since our character is facing to the side, either the left or the right, we want our nose line to point in that direction. So if I want my character looking to the right, I'm going to put my nose line right along the right side of our circle. Now I'm going to split the circle in half. And the ear will go right here in this back corner. The front of the face is like a series of small triangles stacked up against each other. Just keep in mind that the nose will be the same length as the ear, so mine's actually a little bit too small. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to just bounce off the front of the circle and sketch in everything from there. An important thing to remember is that your top lip will be a little bit more shallow and your bottom lip will fall just a hair lower. So it's actually kind of a slanting line. Don't forget to make adjustments as you go. For example, I feel like my nose is a little bit too far forward, so all I need to do is go back in and redraw my nose and brow bone. From here, I can start to connect my ear, my jawline, and my chin. Side view is where we're going to see the most detail in our ears. So for the inside of the ear, I usually just use a backwards 5 shape, kind of like that. But the level of detail depends on your personal style, as well as the shape of the ear that you're using. The nape of the neck will follow along the back of the circle, right about there. And the front of the neck will be kind of in between your jawline and your ears. Right about there. Of course, depending on your style, you can always make the neck thicker or thinner. Like that. For the inside of the face, I'm going to make a little bit of a gap between our brow bone and our eyebrow. And we want our eyebrow to look a little bit shorter in side view than it would in front or 3/4 view, because again, we're looking at it at an angle. The eye in side view is pretty much just a sideways V shape, and you can make the V wider or narrower depending on the style or eye shape that you want to give your characters. For simplicity's sake, the mouth could either just be a line, or you can use a triangle shape to show an open mouth. For your hairline, it's usually helpful to start off with your sideburns, usually a triangle or rectangle shape. Once you've got that shape, they'll go in, up, and over. From here, you can add whatever hairstyle you want. I'm going to try to imitate the one that I did earlier. Once you like the way your final sketch looks, you can go ahead and take away your guidelines. And that's pretty much all you need to draw 3/4 and side view. Remember, keep it simple. It doesn't have to be super complicated, especially when you're just starting out. Before we go, I'd like to give a special shout out to my patrons, Olivia, D Chase, Raven, Anna, Allie Katniss, and Queen Wolfie. Thank you guys so much for your support. If you want to support me on Patreon, check the links in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!